Hi guys, welcome back to On The Fly, and in today's video I'm going to be going over my setup for the 2026 bass fishing season. So I'm going to go over rods, reels, flies, all the other bits and bobs I use. I'll try and let you know what I think is good, what I think isn't so good, and anything that I recommend you pick up. But yeah, this is only my second season fly fishing for bass, so I'm not an expert. Take what I say with a pinch of salt. I'm just a beginner trying to learn everything there is to know. So yeah, we'll start off with rods and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so the first rod I want to talk about is the Orvis Clearwater. This is a 9-foot 8 weight, which is about right for bass fishing in the UK. The 8 weight gives you enough sort of punch to slice through the wind, and it's got enough backbone that you can fight pretty decent fish. If you're fighting the fish around structure, you can really put some pressure on and sort of get them away. But yeah, the Clearwater, it sort of sits in Orvis's lower range of rods, I guess. But don't let that put you off. It's an absolute workhorse. I've been really hard on this rod the previous year, and it hasn't let me down once really. So yeah, it's a really good rod. It's quite a forgiving rod, which I found has been good for me. I've taught myself how to cast, so there was some very bad casting at the start. There probably still is, but this rod is pretty forgiving. You can get away with some not the best technique and still get a heavy fly out there. It casts really well. I've had no issues with it. You can get a good bit of distance with this. It's quite a fast rod, but it's still beginner friendly, I'd say. But yeah, the Clearwater's, it's a good rod. Talking of Orvis, their warranty is exceptional. It's one of the reasons I stick with Orvis rods. So I did actually snap the top section of this rod, which was my fault. I trapped it in a car door. But yeah, the Orvis warranty is so good. I can't stress it enough. I reached out to Orvis, paid a small fee, I can't remember what it was now, and pretty much within, I think, a couple of days, I had a new section on my doorstep. Didn't have to send the whole rod back, I just got a new section through the post. It got me fishing again. And I do think a good warranty is worth its weight in gold. Fly rods are pretty flimsy, aren't they? So knowing you've got a good warranty behind you, it's definitely helpful, because these things break and you want to be fishing again as quick as you can. So yeah, Orvis Clearwater, a brilliant rod if you're getting into bass fishing. A fairly reasonable price as well. I can't remember how much I paid for this. Maybe around the 200 quid mark. But you can get deals. You can get some good deals on these. So yeah, a brilliant rod to start out with. If you're looking to pick up your first fly rod for bass, I'd recommend this. Okay guys, so my new rod for the 2026 season is an Orvis Helios D. Again, it's the 9-foot 8 weight, brand new rod. I've only used it twice, I think, but it is an absolute beast. Just the power and the accuracy you can get out of this thing is incredible, and it's super light. It's a really nice package. You get an aluminium rod tube, which is very nice. You've got titanium guides, which again is brilliant. The salt eats away at everything. So the more materials you can get which resist the salt water, the better. So yeah, it's an exceptional rod, made in the US. All the materials are the best you can get. This thing is an absolute weapon. It comes at a price, obviously, but I quite like gear, so yeah. It's probably not going to catch me any more fish than the Clearwater, but it's pretty awesome to have one of these things, and I've been enjoying using it an awful lot. Comparing it to the Clearwater, obviously better materials, it's a lot faster, it's not as forgiving. That's one thing I found with it. So you need your technique to be down, but when you do get it right, this thing is just effortless. The way it throws a fly out there is incredible. But so yeah, took a little bit to get used to it, but yeah, it's a very, very good rod. There's no denying it. But stuff like that comes at a price, and this was not cheap. Okay guys, so let's talk about reels. Arguably more important than your rod in the saltwater. These need to be really, really tough. I do think if you're buying your first setup, I think you're probably better off spending a bit more of your money on a good reel, because the salt will just eat away at them. I've had a cheaper reel, and even rinsing it out, spraying it, it didn't last long. It failed. So spend a little bit more money on your reel, and you should be covered. And look after them. The saltwater is brutal on all your gear, so always rinse them off. Give your fly line a bit of a clean, and they should see you through. So yeah, the reel I used last year was the Orvis Hydros 4, I think it is. So yeah, it's been really good. It hasn't let me down, and for the money, you probably can't beat this for a sealed drag and a really, really nice finish. So all of the anodizing has held up really, really well. It's had a pretty hard life so far, and yeah, it's done really well. There's not many scratches on it or anything. Yeah, I've fought some decent fish on this. I've had a mullet or two on this, and it's put up a really good fight. The drag's really good on this reel, very smooth, and strong as well. You can put a fair bit of pressure on the fish. So yeah, I think these are going for you could probably pick one up for under 200 quid now, which is a bit of a steal. I think there's a new Hydros out now, so you might be able to get a better deal on one of these. But yeah, a brilliant reel if you're just starting out and you want something which is going to last you and perform well. So yeah, the Hydros, great reel, hasn't let me down. So yeah, another good option if you're looking for a sealed reel. Have a look at the Airflow V3. Probably a little bit cheaper than this. I don't know whether the finish would be quite as nice, but again, it's another budget-friendly reel that is fully sealed. But on the not so budget-friendly side, I've recently picked up a Nautilus GTR, and this thing is incredible. It is so light. I mean, just look at the material. It's been sort of stripped down to the bare minimum, and it's a very, very light reel. I mean, for such a large arbor, it's not much heavier. I mean, it's probably about the same, if not lighter, than the Hydros. But yeah, this thing is incredible. They're all made in the US, and the drag is unbelievable. Plus, it sounds amazing. So yeah, this is my new reel. Is it going to catch me more fish than the Hydros? No, but it's a bit lighter, and the drag is just insane. I had a mullet on a couple of days ago, and it just handled it unbelievably well. So yeah, a brilliant reel. And I'm also going to be trying to plan a few trips this year, hoping to go after some mahi-mahi and hopefully some other fish. So this thing is going to be brilliant for that. So yeah, Nautilus GTR. It's an epic reel. I was out in America a couple months back, which is how I managed to get hold of one of these, because they are like gold dust and you pay a pretty big premium for them in the UK. So while I was out there, I thought I'd treat myself and get something nice. But I'm going to talk about fly lines now quickly. So on this reel, I have a Scientific Anglers redfish line. It's the cold water one, obviously, in the UK. It's a really good line. Cast it a few times. It's very nice. It casts very, very well. So yeah, it's not got the heaviest head, this line. It still gets out there really well. But on a windy day, I can imagine it wouldn't perform quite as well as say like an outbound short or something. But a very, very nice line. I'm really impressed with the Scientific Anglers line. It's the first one I've had, and yeah, it's very good so far. It doesn't really hold memory, which is nice, because sometimes I've had previous lines where you take them off the reel and they just all coil up. But it's a really straight, really nice line. So yeah, I can keep you updated. I'll let you know how I'm finding it and how I get on with it. But yeah, that's the line on this one. And then on the Hydros, I have a Rio Coastal Quick Shooter XP, I think it's called. It's an intermediate line, and this thing is an absolute rocket. Similar to an outbound short in weights, etc. It loads your rod up really, really quick. Quite a heavy head, and yeah, this thing absolutely flies. In the wind, it's brilliant. But yeah, I've got an intermediate because I do fish from a boat sometimes, which I'll try and make a video on soon. Last year I had some absolutely huge bass from the boat. I'll put a picture in now. But yeah, it just lets you get a little bit deeper and get to the fish. It's also a clear head, clear tip, whatever you want to call it, which is pretty cool. I don't know whether it works or not, but I like the idea. So yeah, obviously both of these are 8 weight, matched to the rod. So yeah, I'll keep you updated, let you know how this line performs. Okay guys, so moving on to flies. When I fly fish for bass, I tend to keep it really, really simple. The main fly I'll have on my line for probably 95% of the time is a clouser. These little guys here. So I pretty much just stick to like a white and chartreuse. These have got a little bit of like flash in the tail. I just buy my flies, I don't tie them. I'd like to get into it, but the rest of my hobbies keep me fairly busy. So I just get the Fuller Mill ones. They're really, really good quality. I've tried cheaper ones and they're just not as good. So I keep a load of different sizes. This is slightly bigger. It's got a little like dumbbell weight on the head just to get them down a little bit deeper. So yeah, the Clouser is brilliant for when you're fishing sort of deeper marks or there's a fair bit of current and you want to get that fly down to the fish. It's if I was to use one fly, it would be a white and chartreuse Clouser. It's again, it's 99% of the time it's all I use. So yep, normally try and stock up on them. I'm going to start filling this box up. But yeah, different sizes. I'm going to try and experiment with a few different colours. But yeah, one fly, the chartreuse Clouser. The next fly I use is a deceiver, so chartreuse and white again. Deceivers are really good. I use them for shallow water mainly. If I'm sight fishing for bass in sort of estuaries when it's really, really shallow and a Clouser would just get caught on the bottom or weed, I'll chuck on a deceiver. Just sits a little bit higher in that water column. And yeah, the bass, they seem to love them. So yeah, the other fly I've got in my box is this sort of rubbery sort of bait fish pattern. It's quite sort of flashy. a fair bit of movement in the tail and stuff. I think these are going to be really good. I'm yet to really use them all that much because the bass season's just starting. But yeah, I've got really high hopes for these. It's a not really weighted. I mean, it's heavier than a deceiver, but obviously lighter than a clouser. So yeah, hopefully it'll get down a little bit. But yeah, another interesting fly. So yeah, I'll keep you updated and let you know how these ones go. And the next fly, and arguably the most fun, is the gurgler. So that's the gurgler right there. These are some really cheap ones. These were from some like Chinese website. Super cheap, but they actually work. They work fairly well. But yeah, the gurgler is really good fun. I only really experimented with it last year, and yeah, catching bass on a surface fly is epic because you strip it along and then suddenly you just get a big V and a bass just comes up and snatches it off the surface. So yeah, definitely pick some gurglers up because they're really good fun, and I want to try and use these a lot more this season. While I'm talking about flies, I might as well talk about leaders. So I just buy pre-made leaders. These are just some tapered saltwater ones from, I think, Max Catch. It's super cheap. You buy like 8 of them for like, I don't know, £4 or something. And these are 10 foot, £16, so probably a little bit long, but I've been using them for ages and they're brilliant. I haven't had one snap or anything. Yeah, surprisingly well made, and yeah, quite a good leader just for bass. It's fairly cheap. I have used fluorocarbon leaders before, which are really good. They sink a lot quicker, a bit clearer, a bit stiffer. But yeah, for bass, I don't think it matters too much. I've never had a bass that's been like line shy or anything. For mullet, I definitely recommend some fluorocarbon or something along those lines. But for bass, I found I can get away with some cheap, just mono leaders. So yeah, Max Catch saltwater leaders, super cheap, work really well. It's all you really need. Okay guys, so I'm going to go over a few sort of bits and bobs that I use while I'm fly fishing for bass and things that I found work really well. So one of the other main sort of bits of gear you need for fly fishing for bass is polarized sunglasses. So especially if you're fishing estuaries, close in, sight fishing for bass, you need to be able to see them. And without polarized sunglasses, it's next to impossible. So the ones I use, I quite like Costas. I've been using Costas for quite a while now. So I've got these are some Grand Catalina, I think they're called. A green lens with sort of a copper base. These are good for sort of estuaries, maybe when it's a little bit cloudy, when the light isn't sort of bright sunshine. These are brilliant. I like the style as well. The style's pretty cool, but yeah, having 2 options is a really good idea if you can. So I've got, these are another pair of Costas. These are, what are these? These are King Tide 3s, I think they are. This is a blue lens. These are for like when it's really bright outside, when that sun's beaming down on the water. The blue lens is really good. It's what you want when it's super bright. And the thing I really like about Costas is they have, or some of the models have these little like shields on the side. So you get sort of these little shields that you clip on and they stop the light coming in the side. I find that to be really helpful. And I was getting headaches when I was using other glasses, and I think it was because the light was coming through the side. So I'm a big fan of these. So yeah, blue lens, and then we've got a greeny lens again with the little side shields. Really good. So yeah, sight fishing for bass. Get yourself some polarized sunglasses. Don't have to be Costas. Don't have to be any fancy brands, but you will really notice a difference with polarized glasses. What else have I got here? So just some little nippers. These are some Vision like Pro ones, I think they are. These are really good. They're a nice little pair. Fairly cheap as well, maybe like 20 quid if that, which is a lot better than sort of the Sims ones for like 70 to 100 quid for a pair of nippers, which I think is bonkers. Really nice build quality on these, really sharp. And then just a little loon, don't know what you call them, zinger, whatever you want to call them. Another thing that I find really useful is this little like cling magnetic fly patch. So I'll clip this to like my chest pack, and then when you're changing flies, you can just chuck them on there. They'll stay there. You don't have to worry about fiddling around with your fly box and putting them back in. That's another useful bit of kit. Some little forceps. It's good to have a little like sort of bin with you, I guess you want to call it. This is a little fish pond thing I clip on my chest pack. So you fill it up with all your tag ends and whatnot. You don't want to be chucking it in the water. Stuff like that will last forever in the water. So take your rubbish home, chuck it in your chest pack, or get a little sort of bin thing. Talking of chest packs, I use a Fish Pond Thunderhead chest pack, which unfortunately the zip broke yesterday. So that's been sent back, but again, similar to Orvis, the Fish Pond warranty is insane. So as soon as it reaches them, they'll send me a replacement out. So yeah, another good reason, guys, why spend a little bit more money, get a nicer product, and you'll have that protection. It's better to buy something which costs a little bit more once than buy 10 cheap things, in my opinion anyway. So yeah, I use the Fish Pond Thunderhead chest pack, and I also have a Yeti Panga backpack, which I use just to carry like lunch around, water, camera equipment. So that's a really good bag, a little bit bulky, but that's quite good. So another thing I want to talk about is sort of safety equipment. The main place I fish, the tide absolutely rips there. It's quite a dangerous place to fish, I guess. You wouldn't want to sort of go out there unless you know what you're doing, because the tide, yeah, sometimes you sort of struggle to stand up. So making sure you have sort of the right equipment with you, and make sure you know what you're doing and you know your limits is really important. So for safety, I have a spin lock Alto. This is just like a little life vest thing you sort of strap around your waist, and then there's a little picture of what it does. So yeah, strap it around your waist, pull that, and it'll keep you afloat. I'm a really good swimmer, but you never know. Like if you're stuck up there for a while, floating away, having something like this could save your life one day. You never know. But for something which is small and light, you put it around your waist, you don't think about it, I think it's worth having. Also, I carry a little sort of EPIRB type thing. So my dad was a commercial fisherman for pretty much all his life, and he'd always carry one of these, and yeah, again, it could save your life. Chances are you'll never use it, but it's nice to know you've got something if the worst comes to worst. Again, the only reason I have this is because the spot I fish, the tide absolutely rips there, and if you were to fall over, you're going straight out into the channel, and you're gone. So if your phone gets wet, then you're kind of screwed. So it's worth thinking about these things. I never really thought about anything like that before, but you know, it's having something like this, or even the little life jacket thing, it could save your life one day. So personally, I think it's worth spending a little bit of money on even the life jacket. You probably don't need something like this, but it's a nice to have, it's peace of mind. So yeah, another bit of gear, guys, is the net I use. This is an Orvis Guide largemouth net, I think it's called. It's a very good net. Rubber mesh, a longer handle, which I find is so good. I had sort of a short handle, little sort of trout net, I guess, and yeah, it kind of sucks trying to net fish, whereas the longer handle is brilliant. I've stuck a little sort of measuring tape on it as well, so it's just a quick way to measure fish. But yeah, super light, really nice premium product. costs a bit, but if you can get one on a good deal like I did, maybe you can sort of justify it. Okay guys, so one more bit of kit I want to talk about quickly is a stripping basket. This weird looking bit of plastic here. These things are super, super important, especially if you're fishing in a lot of flow, a lot of tide. When you're stripping your line in, it's going to get all tangled up, wrapped around everything. Similarly, if you're fishing on a muddy riverbank, you don't want your fly line getting covered in mud. So definitely pick up a stripping basket. Some of them are really expensive for what they are. It's just like a washing up bowl basically. So have a shop around. I got this one from one of those Chinese websites. So yeah, this was super cheap, maybe like 15 quid, and it is actually surprisingly really good. All these little rubbery things help trap the line. There's holes in the bottom so water drains out of it. It's a really, really good bit of kit. So yeah, have a shop around because some of these are stupidly overpriced for what they are, but definitely pick one up because it will make your life so much easier. You won't be untangling fly line for your entire day. It's a really, really good bit of kit. Definitely pick one up. So that is my setup for 2026. A few new additions from last year. If you want any more details about what I use or any recommendations on stuff, let me know. If you want as well, I can also make a video on how I choose my locations and how I target bass. Because there's quite a lot to it. I'm still learning. But yeah, let me know if you want that. And one more thing, I am not an expert. I've been doing this for about 1.5 years. If I've said anything wrong or something's not correct, then I'm learning. That's life. So yeah, I'll see you soon when we go out and catch some bass.